Hello one, hello all. It's the most annoyed ghost of them all, Caspa in the flesh, and it's time for a review. For Ray Sremmurd-Sremm4life. Ray Sremmurd is a pop rap duo consisting of Sway Lee, Slim Jimmy, and this is their fourth studio album. And I must say, when it comes to letting you know what album it is in the chronological order, I think they're pretty creative when it comes to that. I definitely give credit where it's due. You had Sremmlife, you had Sremmlife 2, you had Sremm, where they replaced the E with a 3 to let you know it was the third album, and now we have Sremmurd-Sremm4life, with this being the fourth album. And to be honest, I've never hated this group. I didn't exactly go back to their first album. I haven't really gone back to much of their albums consistently, but I did find enjoyment in the second release, with Sremmlife 2. I thought that the bangers were pretty good on there, although it took a nosedive after. But the inclusion of legendary rappers, the inclusion of some forward-thinking production, and carrying that on to the Sremm album. But unfortunately, they decided to do like a speaker box Love Below thing where each has their individual album, and it did not go well at all. Like, granted, Slim Jimmy's album was okay. Not album of the year material, not even honorable mention material, but okay. But then you have Sway Lee, who does this R&B, alternative R&B thing, and it just comes off as a total snooze, to be honest. But yeah, like when they're in their bag, they're in their bag. And I think they could come up with some fun stuff here and there. I do think they have think outside the box production. I do think they come through with like catchy hooks, sticky melodies. But unfortunately on here, that is not the case. Now, I do give credit where it's due. I do think it's pretty cool that they're still with Mike Will made it after all these years, and he's all over this thing. He produced this entire thing. So cool on that. But on here, the lack of innovation, forgettable hooks, bland production is just so blaring. It is glaring. It is unbearable, to be honest with you. Now, I do think this thing has some highlights, but they're pretty slim. No pun intended. And I will touch on the highlights. Let me touch on those first, because let me just get the good stuff out of the way. I mean, normally you want the bad news first, but the good news is like very minimal on here. You have the song Royal Flush, which has this boss style prominence to it, booming bass, crispy trap drums. It kind of sounds like something out of a Desperado movie with how like Latin style like the horns are. Some nice melodic boyish vocals on the hook. Thugger comes through like these very eccentric vocals, humorous flex bars, animated ad-libs. Slim Jimmy comes through with his like aggressive, energetic delivery, sounding great, sounding cool. So yeah, like I feel on there you get what makes a Ray Sremmurd track work. And I could say the same thing for Tanisha, even though like I wasn't exactly too thrilled with it as a single. But as a cut, I think it works. It has like these electro style southern rap type melodies, these syncopated house-like keys, these weepy West Coast style synths. Probably catchiest hook on here. Now pump that, now pump that. Slim's verse has like a lot of punch, a lot of energy, a lot of charisma. Sway Lee's vocals are pretty sweet. pretty chill, kind of complements the entrancing momentum that this track has. And I feel like they're both playing to their strengths here. The 80s synth style, electro style works. Now, does it work for a lot of the other styles? No, not even the others that carry on this style. Like the track Flaunt It and Cheap, which they are flaunting, and it does sound cheap. So they pretty much nailed that part. And I dig the idea of electro 80s, but God, it just sounds friggin' empty. It sounds so empty, it sounds so derivative, like they're not really reinventing the wheel or anything, and not even sounding good while they're maintaining the wheel that was already made. And the 80s rap cliches continue on the track Sexy, which is anything but sexy. But here's the thing. I think they might be trying to be cheeky on this, but I don't really see any humor here. Like, I'm not finding the bars very funny, and I can't find the track Sexy. Because, nothing screams sexy more than a demo made by Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer that 2 Live Crew turned down. Can't go wrong with that. But yeah, it's just pretty grating. It's pretty terrible. It just leaves me dead inside. And the outro is so grating on here. And the bars are so corny. Like you're talking about being sexy, but nothing you're saying here is sexy at all. And even like the killing of fictional creatures to like make outfits, well, I mean, I guess it's best it's fictional animals and not real animals, I suppose. So points for that, I guess. Another song on here that like has satire but lacks the humor, I would say, is Not So Bad, Lean's Gone Cold. Which has this robotic vocal refrain from Sway Lee. And I can't tell if this is like a parody or interpolation of Dido's Thank You, which has me like, no thank you, no, leave that over there, thank you. It just has these really corny lyrics. Lean's gone cold, I wonder why, and their money stacks being tall. And it has like this somber piano back drill beat. And it just gives such a forlorn vibe, but it has like these faux emotional lyrics about like flexing. It's faux flex. It's faux feeling flex. That's what this is. This is a triple F. And it gets an F on this album. And it's awful. It's just awful. The singing sucks. The singing is obnoxious. The lyrics suck. And it's just such a non-starter for me, honestly. And if you're not getting bland flex bars, you're getting pretty much really, really sleepy vocals on here. So here's the thing. I have no problem with flex bars. I just want them to be fun. I want them to be entertaining. And they're not that at all. Like on Mississippi Slide, took a shit on my haters, but I still got toilet paper. I didn't know getting back to your haters was expensive. I mean, probably for studio time. But if you did, it's probably not a very good one. You should probably go back and spend more toilet paper. Trust me. Bend Your Knees just sounds like filler. It sounds like it's trying to be a banger, but it just fails at bringing like a punch. Like, it just comes off kind of annoying, honestly. And you get like these really weak designer bars, not the rapper, but it just sounds like a commercial. It sounds like a friggin' really bad commercial that I just want to skip. But I can't skip because I have to review it. So, yeah. Like, fucked her and my damn designer gave her Christian D. Like Christian Dior? Get it? Christian D? Yeah, I'm not into it either. Definitely a lazy line, and I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, well, if Danny Brown did it, or Tyler did it, you'd praise it. And yeah, because they probably followed it up with some more humorous bars to tie it up with that, and probably wouldn't sound like they took a hit of NyQuil before they hit the booth. Like, they just sound so, like, half asleep on most of these tracks. Like, they're not even trying here. And the song YMCA. It's fun to say the YMCA. Man, I wish they were interpolating YMCA, but no, we just get, like, this terrible, lifeless, sleepy, spacey trap synth track, and it's just so bland, so forgettable. And what is up with Slim Jimmy's voice on here? Like, Sway Lee and Slim Jimmy's voice is like so night and day. Like, did he piss off the engineer before he went into this? And the engineer was like, I got something for him. Gonna make his voice sound so distorted and compressed. You messed with the wrong guy today, Jimmy. You messed with the wrong guy today. It's basically what I'm getting with this. And yeah, it's just dud after dud on here. Torpedo just sounds like a lackluster Travis Scott ripoff. Like, you know, it's atmospheric, it's spacey, it's trappy, but it just sounds so throwaway. It sounds like something that Travis Scott didn't want on Rodeo, to be honest. And Sway Lee just sounds like he's struggling to get an ad-lib in. Like, what the hell is going on? And we get more terrible bars like on Torpedo, where your pocket's too tight, like a Speedo. Are you serious? And ADHD Anthem just sounds really horrid, really cheap rage rap mix of Playboi Carti and Juice WRLD. Like, and I'll give credit, they sound like they, or at least Slim Jimmy sounds like he's coming off sincere here, like he's really going through something. But the derivative vocals and the lack of great production on here, and Slim Jimmy's, Sway Lee's corny designer bars on here just derail the seriousness I could have had for this track before it even gets started. So yeah, this album suffers a lot. The production is weakly mixed. The ideas are running on E. The bars are super weak. The hooks are forgettable. The mixing is terrible. This is just bad. It's bad. It has the highlights. 2 highlights, I could say. But other than that, I just hope in the future we get fresher ideas, better mixing, hooks that pop, because they definitely don't pop on here. I'm feeling 1 heart out of 5 on this album. But that's just my opinion. That's just how I feel about this album. If you've given this album a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And that's it. Leave your comments below. Caspa, Critical Plug, Ray Sremmurd, Sremm4life. Till we meet again.